very important question. What difficulty level do you play your own games on?
I typically will go normal. No, I can't do it. Like people who play Last of Us on grounded, I can't talk to them. I don't understand that. You're like, I would rather get punched in the face. I won't do easy. I will do normal. I want the average experience. I want to know what that's like. But especially if it's a story-based game, I want to get through it. Like I'm more interested in completing the game the first time. If I did all right, then I'll up it. But I typically won't do like, the feather setting.
Yeah, toddler. I like to be on toddler mode. I like just that's it. I want to just. I think it's normally just whatever normal, but when he wants to up it, I'll just go easier. Especially if I'm playing Nathan Drake, where it's like pretty much me.
Straight missionary.
I don't want to kill myself, so I like to put myself on impervious. It's like people just keep
God
shooting.
mode.
Yes. Don't like getting shot.
So your YouTube, what made you decide to go ahead with that?
And how did you become friends as well? I think
Yes.
that's part of that question. Like,
We're not friends.
We're not friends.
This is a purely business association,
Yes.
and you'll see a line right here on the table. Don't cross it. There it is. Your feet count.
That's not my foot.
We've become friends through the games that we've worked on together. I was actually a massive fan of Uncharted before we even started working together, and then to be able to be on that was really kind of through. Even though we had worked together and hung out together, I think it was really working on Uncharted that like we're like, oh, we can hang. This is a cool. We can be friends and like that's as you get older, your gates get higher and your walls get stronger. And there's a few people in your life you're like, you can come into the castle. And he and I share that. As far as Retro Replay, we really wanted to do something that we could own, and we thought about like what does that look like? What can we do?
Right.
And it's just kind of presented itself. Like I grew up playing games, he did not, and we would have these conversations and I was like, well, I had just finished playing this one game called Crystalis, and I was just spouting off effusively my experience of like starting a game 28 years ago and then almost 3 decades later finally completing it and see that final screen, and he's like, I don't have any of those things, and so became like we should do that. And then
and I think it's just you get to a certain point in your career and that like you said, want to own it, but you get to a certain point where things are going great, everything's kind of on, you're working and you're keeping busy, but as you get older, you don't want to rely on that phone call, that email that, hey, you booked this job, you're going to be working. Wouldn't it be great to take control of that while still doing the other things, but do have something that you control and own, but you control and like, okay, I'm going to work on this day, I want to do this, and we have that advantage of being able to come up with an idea that, hey, this is going to be fun. We would do this party anyway. Let's film it, see if people like it. Give them access to when we hang, when what we're doing. And I think that's what the whole idea of the couch and that's one of the great things about going to cons like Manchester is you get to meet people who really appreciate what you do. And I always tell people, you're playing Uncharted, you're Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
I may have done it. I've done it once. You've done hours moving them around and doing that stuff. So here's access into how we not only make that, but what we do between takes.
Yeah.
And after work. So it's what we want to do is build community. We want to build a group of followers who have already followed what we do, but let them inside to see what we're like.
And it was crazy. We just did a live version of what we do for YouTube. And, when it's just the two of us on the set, on the couch playing the game, we don't realize what's going to be funny to people and what they're going to key in on. And then to hear people like shout out stuff that it was almost like Rocky Horror, we have inside jokes now, and there's a community of people that like get that and support that. And we didn't have Drew as one of our producers, and he's really, really helpful when we're shooting to like, he's our Ziggy from a Quantum Leap. Like, he's the one that helps us answer all our questions because we don't necessarily know, and we needed a Drew. And so we asked the audience who wants to be our Drew, and hands shot up because they knew who Drew is, and they also knew, like we said, say hi, Drew. The hi, Drew is like, say shut up, Drew. Like, they get the joke that, you know, we love this guy, but we, on the show, we give him we give him grief. We give him the business.
We give him the business.
So, Troy, you previously said the best way to get into video game voicing is get a decent mic and wait for the two of you to die.
Yeah, we gotta be out.
But how did you both end up actually getting into the industry?
Waiting for him to die.
It's not gonna happen. Although it almost did last night.
Oh man,
I was busy.
That's the number one question that we get asked. How do we get into this? And the answer is shrug of shoulders. I have no idea. Because
So how did you?
my path I don't want anybody else to take. Because I started off, look, David Milch once said that the exigencies of the artist situation are always with the financial. Meaning, you are always, if you're an artist, you're trying to find a way to monetize your passion so that you can do it, not recreationally, but do it vocationally. I found out that I had a gift for being on a microphone. I was a musician, and I've never been afraid of being on a stage my entire life. But one night, I was at a gentleman's establishment. And the DJ there, who's the guy that, you know, right.
You were at a strip club.
I was at a strip club.
And there was a DJ playing.
There was
music.
a DJ that was horribly, I mean, he was just under the table drunk.
Were you a dancer?
I was not. I was there because that's where we hung out.
Oh,
because we knew the bouncer, we can get him for free.
of course.
So he's drunk, and everyone says, you do a great imitation of him. Do you want to jump on the mic? And so I did. I was just, I want a $2 whale, $2 $2, 75 long legs, brand up Barbary. And I did that so much so that the manager thought that James was still at a DJ booth. And so he was like, you want a job? And so I did that, and that's how I got my start into it. And then I started doing car commercials, and I met Chris Sabat, so I don't want to tell anybody, like, what you need to do is find a drunk DJ at a strip club.
And ironically, I was dancing at a strip club when one of the patrons hit me in the throat. And my voice changed, and I realized I could do this.
Used to be a tenor, and now you're a baritone.
Baritone. Conversely,
No, I was just going to simply say,
please go continue.
Everyone's path is different. The commonality that I would say amongst all people is that there comes a point where you have to be brave enough to fail, and you have to be a little bit reckless and a little bit dangerous. And if you don't have that in you, this may not be the path for you. But if you're willing to make a fool of yourself and do it honestly, then this could be, something that is for you. Nolan.
Very quickly, I just was an actor. I was theater and stand-up comedy in New York. Moved to California, and I was on a TV show for 5 years. Got canceled. You started doing rounds on camera, doing different things, and then somebody said, hey, somebody from my show said you should talk to my voiceover agent. You're always messing around, goofing around. How retro replay, how we goof around. You see, I was doing these voices and messing around, making us laugh. You should see them. I did. She signed me. Started doing auditions, and it just, one thing led to another. And gaming at the time was one of the quickest ways to get your foot in the door. Because a lot of people were like, no, you got to do animation. You want to be on a show. Games, you're just yelling, grenade, get down. And I was like, you want to give me $700 to go yell grenade? Get that? Yeah, I'll do that.
I got my SAG card up again.
Yeah. And so did I. So,
did you really?
Yeah, because my show was after different union. So anyway, that's how it all kind of, and and I think it was kind of, we've always laughed about this. It's a volume business. It wasn't like one thing's gonna, you get one big TV show, wow, it's off to the races, and buy
Singles and
yourself a
doubles.
new car. This is there are no home runs. It was like, although
every once in a while you hit it out of the park, but for the most part it's a career of singles and doubles.
But when it started, I know. But when it started, it was one of those things. It was Call of Duty. You're Sergeant Randall, who's in just this section.
Yeah.
You're
I was the guy
Russian Officer 2. And then it just as it grew bigger and bigger, and then I think there's just I never discount the amount of luck that it takes sometimes.
That's the other commonality. It's just pure dumb luck. Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Which requires action. You have to be in that place at the right time. What is it? The phrase is, luck is nothing but opportunity meeting preparation. It's absolutely what it is.
Yep.
Like, what is the worst line you've had to deliver in a game, and what game was it?
Next up, Nolan North.
What?
Man, whenever someone asks me to buy, to distill something down to a singular choice, I always choke. Like, what's your favorite? What's your best? What's your most memorable? My least favorite.
Think about it for a second. I'll tell you for your live stream.
Please.
Mine was, I did it Bratz.
Oh yeah, BRTZ.
BRTZ, and I was just like this shop owner, and I was like, "Hey girls, you know who hates cell phones? Old people." And it was like, and I said the line, I went, "Wait, what? Really?" And I was like, "This is for kids." And I thought it was so disrespectful. I'm like, "This is for kids,"
so
but I
fun.
still took the $700.
I laughed at that though. It's still pretty funny.
But it was just such a horrible line to be. Anyway,
It's a matter of taste, but like there was some pretty wretched lines that we both probably had to do in Saints Row, which I absolutely love that game, and it's supposed to be intentionally irreverent, but it was so well written. You're like, I cannot believe that I'm about to say this, but
yeah, there's some lines. There are lines in that you would never say. It's like, who thought about putting these words? Who ever thought of this?
yeah,
And you're just saying it like, I don't care. But I don't.
I'm
It's not the
joking so
worst
hard.
line. It's not. It's not like, oh, it's a bad line. It's just, oh, it's a bad line.
Because trust me, to try to single it down to one bad line that I say, we've recited some terrible dialogue before.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. 'cause
There,
then
yeah, I don't want to piss anybody off. There's some very popular games, franchises that we've had to do, and some of them have been redone, and weren't allowed to change any of the lines, but time reveals that some things don't hold up well with time, especially when you're having to say the same name over and over again. I'm not by any means saying which game it was, but it might have been an HD remake of a certain game that I did, and the writing was of a time. It was of a time, and I definitely went like, wow, we can't change these lines at all, and there's just some lines that you can't make good. Wink.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure, man. Thank you.